everybody. Welcome. This is Terrell from Terra03.com. And today is Wednesday. It's July 29th, 2026. It's 2:50 p.m. Central Time here in the Ozarks. And let's begin, before we get into the report, with some questions and answers. Iran launches surprise attack. This is from the cross post, my comments. There are some of the things that Michael Snyder wrote that I disagreed with. He's saying that kind of repeating the Trump narrative that the Iranians are crazy, a lot of name calling and things going on. When I see the Iranians as the adult in the room and they're winning the war, we're getting our butts kicked. The global banks cartel. This is the 30,000 foot view, taking a big step back. The bankster cartel is using BRICS, Iran, Russia, China to drive the U.S. out of the Middle East, turning over the tables on U.S. military and dollar hegemony. Just one sentence, that's what's happening. It's under the umbrella of Project Black Star. The United States is a big problem for the global banks cartel because of our Constitution, because of the amendments of the Constitution. First, second, all of them. We're the bastion of freedom for people around the world, even the Iranians, who really don't want to be in a fight with us, but we attack them for no good reason, if you ask me. The banksters have to take down Western civilization, and it's crumbling by itself. It's one of the reasons that Russia is not attacking NATO, not attacking Europe, because Europe's collapsing under its own weight of corruption, just like the United States is. Europe can't defend itself against BRICS. The United States can't defend itself against BRICS. Trump's out there like a roaring lion. He's a paper tiger. Did you check out the Scott Ritter? Right here, Scott Ritter. This was sent you guys this morning early. I watched it every minute of it. Hadn't even watched it yet, and knew that he was going to be making some key points, and he is. He's making many key points right here. Then the Midas touch guy. Some people probably irritated with him. I get a little irritated with him, but a lot like Anna Kasparian, a lot of what's coming out of his mouth it's critical of the administration, and it turns out to be right. And I'm giving credit where it's due. So Iran is removing U.S. Arab bases from the chessboard. Smart move, right? If any of those countries are stupid enough to allow attacks to come from their country, from our bases that are there, they should expect to be attacked. So Iran is systematically knocking out our bases. Behind the scenes, I believe that there's some bargaining going on. And I agree with Scott Ritter. If Saudi Arabia doesn't wake up, make a deal with Iran and with BRICS, they've already got a deal with China. And they're making some really stupid decisions, or the United States is pushing them into making those, and Israel is pushing them to go into battle with the Houthis. That's stupid mistake. The Houthis have the same support from BRICS that Iran does. A lot of the technology that Iran is helping Russia and China, and they're benefiting from that. And Houthis are their little bulldog on a chain over there that's been just kept in place and then brought out at the right time. Here now, they've been activated. The truth, let's see. Yeah, the truth about what's really happening in the U.S., Israel versus Iran, Russia, China, BRICS war is stranger than fiction and difficult for most people to believe. Ask yourself why Trump is depleting U.S. interceptor and standoff missiles and the U.S. strategic petroleum reserves while walking the U.S. into World War III. Why would you do that? That's stupid. Just like what the Saudi Arabia is doing is stupid. What Israel's doing, taking on everybody, is stupid. It's because they're reading a script from the global banksters, leading the world into World War III to bring down the West, that create, bring down the economy, bring down the U.S. dollar, world reserve currency, to create chaos, and they're going to run off to the underground cities, leave the world fighting with each other. So Trump is working for the global banksters, the global intelligence community. To the global intelligence community, the more war there is, the more they're needed. The military industrial complex, the more missiles you need, the more they're needed. The demand for their services is going up by the second as the world is, they're serving the global bankster cartel. Unlimited amount of resources, trillions and trillions and trillions. Keep saying trillions a whole pile of times, and you won't reach the amount of resources they have. They're holding all the cards, and they are using Iran to beat the head, to bash the head in of the Americans right now. Scott Bessent, yeah, they're destroying Western civilization. Scott Bessent is giving speeches about the strong economy when we should be preparing World War III, for World War III, the food collapse and famine. This is Nate, Canadian Prepper Link. You guys are being played. Activation Day can happen anytime. So I'm sharing the links, sending people the information. It seems to me that very few are paying attention. Huge earthquake in Japan, cross-posted. The West Coast should definitely anticipate a big quake, but my eyes are currently on the fault line between China and Turkey. Turkey's likely going to be the next stop from what I'm seeing, pointing towards Italy. So I can show it to you right here. My apologies. Missed one of my windows, didn't I? Right here. Look at the pattern. The big Japan quake right here. Magnitude. It's being reported by most people as a 7.1. It seems like that it was at least a 7.1. Yeah, there's a 6-pointer down here. Anyway, put the smaller ones back because there's a pattern here. So notice the color. See the pink, the large magnitude, pink. That's because of the amount of time that's passing by. But see the white? See the white? See this white here? This is like a crack in a windshield. This is a fault line running right across here. Quarter 3, right across here. See where it's quiet? Yep. This activity pushed west from last week. There's a deep one right under it. See, Italy is right being affected right now. There's nothing. Greece, that's where the quake swarm area has been here recently. There's no quake. There's no quakes there last 7 days. There's nothing here. This quiet area right here, pressure's building, pressure's building, pressure's building. This is where it's coming from. This is what's just happened right here. See all the white? And the push is going this way right here. And it's going into this quiet area right here. And right in the middle of that, if they even just get a 5.8 here, it can kill, if it strikes in the right spot, it can kill 10,000 people. Here, it's a 6-pointer and it strikes in a highly populated area. So this is where I'm watching right here. And there's another watch area. It's in my report. That's a rather large quake, center part of the United States. And I just wrote through, my mind is kind of shot. I've been running since this morning. Oh yeah, I had to go look. See this? Elution chain. Get 7-pointers out of here. Two quake swarm areas. See this one quake swarm area right here? There's 5s in there. Look at the largest magnitude earthquakes. Rash of 5s. This is the last one that struck. 5.0 right here. Oh, these are darker, the older ones. You have some lighter ones down there that are deeper. So there's, when you see that pattern, even though it's 7 days, you see the darker ones, the larger magnitude, and then it's followed up by these smaller ones, deeper ones. Pressure's building here. The I'll be watching this spot right here, the Aleutian chain, and Turkey right here. Really watching this right here. So I'll be coming back. So it's the pattern with the 5 pointers, larger 5 pointers, and then the way they're pointing. So we're moving to the lull period. The pointers are supposed to be going back to the origination zone. That's not what's happening. This is a new pattern that's happening. So the continental bulge, not supposed to be happening. It is happening. So we're close enough to the black star. We're moving away from it, but it's still pretty close. The Earth is still responding to large doses of electromagnetic energy being processed through the superplume. So this is what I shared in the cross post. You guys are following my reports. You're already fully aware. You can stop and read. Giant superplume growing out of control. So note on Rainier, Mount Rainier, webcam has been down for 4 days, 3 days since it's been shown with the thick clouds. So you're asking me, what are they hiding? I think you're being rhetorical. How you know more than I do, Karen. You keep up with that way. You're able to watch something like that way closer than me. But I mean, I don't know. But if they are hiding something by turning off the cameras, it's not good what they're hiding. Fauci invokes the Fifth Amendment before the Senate committee. That's what's going on today. I haven't seen any of that stuff. Don't need to. So what's Fauci doing out there right now? Fauci in Wuhan, 2014-15, 2014, Russia, Ukraine. 2014, catch and bus program. That's whenever Texas governor came into power. He's the commander of the illegal alien invasion. He looks like the guy that's against the illegal alien invasion, right? No, he's the commander of it. It's been run out of Texas all this time. The catch and bus program, the pilot program, started under Obama and Biden, 2014. Then it kicked off for real when the first day Biden took office. Something like 30 to 40 million illegal aliens were shuttled in here just as fast as possible, including the Chinese terror cells, the Iranian terror cells, the Russian terror cells. They're here, they're waiting. So 2014-15, well, first of all, Rothschild, Rockefeller, Gates, eugenics, DARPA, Fort Detrick. That's what's behind the smokescreen created by Fauci in Wuhan. Wuhan is nothing. All the gain of function work was done by 2004. It was being done through 2001 when the SARS-1 came out. The nanosilver based vax and the COVID-2, SARS-2, all of that work, gain of function, everything was completed by 2004. But that's done in Fort Detrick. That's done under DARPA. But they had to create a smokescreen. So they send Fauci in 10 years later, a decade later, 2014 and 15, they start sending Fauci over to Wuhan to create a paper trail. Because they planned with the Olympics, with the military war games, 2019, that's whenever our military was used to shuttle the biological weapon over to Wuhan, China. So our global military war games, the military Olympics, they took place first. Then after that, it was followed up. The fish market and everything, that was already infected by our military people. So anyway, the investigators are now going to keep poking at Fauci, and funding. The funding that you did for the gain of function research, that's all fake. It was all done a decade before. That's the reason that he's being hauled out now. This should this is scary because you're seeing more about the WHO. I'm going to show you more of that here in a minute. They're getting ready to roll out Pandemic 2, the lockdown. It's going to be a combination energy lockdowns because the oil shock is about to hit us right in the face. And Pandemic 2 is about to happen at the same time. Glue and cinder blocks. So I can stop and show you the videos. This lady is kind of laughing. She has like some pebbles that are down here, these rocks, little baby river rocks maybe, and she's gluing the blocks together. I mean, you can do that. It's not going to be structurally sound or anything. I would never do anything like that. I wouldn't recommend doing anything like that. And Brian specifically wrote, and he says, is it possible to glue cinder blocks together as shown in the video? I've never seen that. And you need to build a retaining wall. Since you told me you're building a retaining wall, if you guys don't know, then I'm a vested journeyman bricklayer, 35 years, and getting a pension for the years that I was up in Minnesota doing that. I owned my own company, and the owner, the old man Gresser, owned Gresser Masonry, 250 masons that work most of the year, down to 50 in the winter. But hundreds and hundreds of employees and subcontractors and that. And old man Gresser, he was passing off the company to his son when I was there. And I was working on the east wall of University of Minnesota, millions and millions and millions of brick there. I was working on the east wall, running that crew over there when 9/11 happened. And they were going to lose millions and millions of dollars. I didn't know that, but old man Gresser told me. Because one morning I showed up at my workstation at the far left. He knew where I'd be because I was leading the crew there, and the senior mason always works on the far left. So I get there and I'm always early. And I'm always the first one there. But I wasn't the first one there that morning, and I looked down there and because it's still kind of dark. I looked down there and there was old man Gresser. I didn't know it was him. And I walked down there, and then I realized I saw the guy's a billionaire, and he drives a yellow Volkswagen. That guy. And he asked if my name, or are you Terrell? Yes, sir. And he took a hold of my hand, and while he was talking to me, he said he had to really thank me. He'd been talking to the comptrollers and the bookkeepers and the accountants and everybody. He said we were going to lose millions and millions. We were sorry we took this job, and we are now going to make millions and millions of dollars. And I asked them why, and they said it because whenever you showed up, and then you brought Tracy, my buddy on the other end of the line down there. He was the number 2 in control of that line. Had about 20 masons on that wall. He said, when you picked up the pace, the other 11 crews that we have here, we had 4 supervisors, gigantic job, and 11 foremans over the lines, and I was one of them. And he said, whenever you picked up the pace on this east wall right here, we kept having our meetings, and everybody else was seeing what you were doing, and they had to pick up the pace too. And now we're going to make a big pile of money. I just had to come out and thank you very, very much for that. So we're in the union. He couldn't give me a bonus or anything like that, but he had to come out. In a similar situation on the next 7-story building that we did, they had problems building it, and they had the whole company there, and 3 different companies brought us food because it was a big deal. They didn't know how they're going to build it because the way the walls came together and had to be a control joint going up, and I was the one that they asked, anybody know how we're going to do this? And I raised my hand and stood in front on the microphone and talked to everybody and told them how we're going to do it, without realizing that he was going to put me in the key position whenever that happens. So that's some of my glory days in my masonry. Yeah, according to Mr. Gresser, the best mason out of all of them that he had there. And so I've got lots of those kind of stories if we ever see each other sitting around the fire. But if you're building a retaining wall, then the footing is really important in Florida or in the coast of California where it's sandy soil. your block's only going to be as good as the foundation that it's on. Here in northwest Arkansas, I can dig just a little hole underneath the block, and because it's clay and rock, it's not going anywhere. And I can almost lay block on top of the clay. I'm not kidding you. 2 to 3 inches deep of just Portland cement, and I can go on it. It's never going to move because the ground here just does not move. So it depends what's underneath it. But then you're going to use, if you use an 8-inch block, that's what you're going to want to use for your retaining wall. And then this guy right here, I found somebody for you that is not a really great mason, but he has the techniques. He has the basics down. So that's the kind of guy you want to learn, you want to teach people, because he's going to go step by step and go simple, 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 not run too fast for you. And he's showing how, that's number 3 steel right there, 3/8. And he's bending it in there, and you can actually put that right under the joints too. Probably going to want to cross this joint, brother. Just saying. But then whenever you click on this link, you go into the side column, and there's other people that are giving their views. So I could take in my experience, true story, I took a laborer and made him into a mason and taught him to teach, taught him to, something's going on with my system. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay, hopefully that's the only window that closed. But took a laborer and made him into a mason in 3 weeks, taught him to lay 500 blocks a day. He didn't know build corner leads and do the other things, but it can be done to teach somebody. And if you're running a company and you're a piece worker, just saying, you might not want to do that, because it wasn't long that he quit and went and worked for somebody else that paid him more money. But in the columns over here, then you'll find you find other people with different skill sets. So you can, so I sent you, Brian, I sent you the links. Okay, this page here is still up. Okay, see if I can get back on track here. I got a little discombobulated. Okay, got you through the question and answers. Then reminder, get your nano silver orders in by 8 a.m. Central Time on Friday for shipment on Friday. As long as it's before 8 a.m., it'll be shipped on Friday. After that, the next shipping day is on the 7th on Friday. Your deliveries, whenever you order, you'll get your tracking number. You'll get your notification within 24 hours. Your tracking numbers, you always get them on Friday afternoon. And your deliveries, real fast, anywhere in the United States, USPS priority mail, the 3rd or the 4th of next week. That's over 90% of them. Every now and then, one that goes to California gets shipped to Delaware and goes round and round before it gets to where it's going. Every now and then that happens, especially around Christmas. But generally here lately, it's been all good to go. Okay, so that's question and answers, that's announcements, and seismic event indicators say Earth is moving through the first Earth change lull period for the 2026 Earth orbit cycle relative to Black Star position between the Sun and the Scorpio constellation. If you're new, there might be, I've been sending some Substack links and things out there. Maybe there's somebody that's new. The Black Star is the invisible collapsed binary twin to our Sun. It comes to the inner solar system, I believe, about every 3,600 years. It came in the days of Noah, came in the days of Moses. It's going to come at the end of the age, cause that destruction. The Apostle Paul says the destruction comes suddenly, like the birth pangs upon a woman with child. That's how the day of the Lord begins. That's what we're about to see right now. We are witnesses of how the day of the Lord is about to begin. The end of the age is when the Black Star comes on the next cycle, according to everything that I'm seeing in my research. So location of the Black Star. You get that in my full Earth change report only. And they were on Thursdays, now they're on Wednesdays. I haven't just not enough time in the week to do reports. They were, and back in the beginning of the investigation, they were only once a week. That was on Thursdays. Then they were 5 days a week with a full report on Thursday. Then it was 4 days a week. and then everything had to back up to 3 days a week, and that's the way that it's been. That's makes for a long Wednesday, but that's the way it has to be right now, the way things are going. So here's Scorpio, the black stars in this section of space right here with Scorpio, the black stars in this section of space right here. I know that it's between the sun and Scorpio for sure. What I'm not sure of is how far it's away along this line. I know that it's close because leftward movement in the orbit diagram 2011, 2012, 2011, the black star was here between the sun and the left side of Leo. Every year it's been moving left in the orbit diagram, so it's a little further left, a little further left, but it was moving 11, 12 degrees left, very, far. To move very far, it has to be pretty close. Up to 2017. If it would have kept moving that speed, it would have been here in 2017. Thing is, it slowed down. It has a magnetic repulsion relationship with the sun, like putting magnets together the wrong way. And it went from 12 degrees, 11, 12 degrees to 6 degrees left in the orbit diagram, moving more slowly. Then it slowed down to 3 degrees, moving through Libra. 3 degrees. So we go around the sun once and it's just 3 degrees, 3 days. It took us to catch up to it, 3 additional days. And here recently, it's closer to 2 degrees. The black star is slowing inbound orbital velocity. It's slowing its movement left in the orbit diagram. Well, because of the 11-12 day differential early on in the investigation, I know it's close. And it's slowing down, it's tricking us. It's extremely difficult for a regular astronomer to track, especially a geologist, astrophysicist, a geophysicist, astrophysicist type guy, because this thing defies the laws of physics. The magnetic repulsion relationship is not common. It was discovered by a Canadian student. And NASA doesn't write about it a lot, like it doesn't write about magnetic portal connections a lot. What you need, the basics of science that you need to understand what's going on is not taught very much. I'm pretty much self-taught on it, had to learn it because to explain what the heck's going on here doesn't make sense. And working with astronomers, worked with about half a dozen astronomers, and one of the biggest problems that they had is wrapping their head around the magnetic repulsion, because every object, whether it's the Earth, whether it's Jupiter, comet, asteroid, increases velocity until it reaches perihelion, nearest point to the sun. Then it decreases and slingshots around, right? That's where everything works, but not the black star. It's different. Though it's slowing, it gets locked in a circular orbit here at some point. This has to do with a monopole dipole switch that's flipped. And the repulsion force is the square of the closing distance when that switch is flipped rather than the cube. And then that equalizes with gravity. Gravitational force increases by the square of the closing distance. As you're falling, it increases by the square until you reach maximum velocity. So this is where the black star is. We're moving away from it now. And in the solar system, we're going to reach the 90-degree angle position just about 9/11. Pretty darn close to it. So the diagrams associated with the research, this is where we were on June the 8th. Next cycle will be here June the 11th, figuring for 3 days. It's actually 2 days in a decimal. This is where we're going to be here in September. Each of these golden lines is a golden line in the chart that I'm about to show you. That's why you see the gold. When I show you the chart, these dates wind up with that gold in the chart. So there's a method to my madness, tracking black star year. That's what the chart is, showing you the black star years and the seismic pattern in that black star year. Within the solar year, the calendar year. So this is the lull period. This is the seismic lull that we're moving toward right now. We're still, in July, we're coming to the end of it here. and then we get into the seismic lull, and then we're going to, getting close to this line, we're going to have the greater potential for large magnitude earthquakes again. We can still have the large magnitude quakes as we're seeing moving through the lull period. We were having a rash of them over here moving through the lull period, 7. Went boom, boom at the backside alignment, had a pause, and then a big quake. 3 quakes, boom, 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 3, 4, and 5, and then a pause, and then boom, boom. 2 quakes at the end. 5 years in a row, we had a clear seismic pattern. To 2019, that changed because of the super plume. Super plume growing out of control in the Earth mantle transition zone changed the global tectonic volcanic dynamic, what we're looking at right now. So this is where we were in June, passing between the 2 stars. This is magnetic portal connection configurations. It's an umbilical cord. Connects the black star to the Earth, the sun to the Earth, the sun to the black star. So the ways we're moving around the sun and where these portal connections converge and diverge and portal crossfiring in between them, that's a science all to itself, in my view, and it helps to explain strange phenomena, plural, that's been happening as the black star gets closer and closer to our planet. It also explains the super plume. This is the infant state 2015 image. This is now grown to fill the entire Earth mantle transition zone, that blob. This was tracking the blob. You see the lighter colors, because as the years went by, this was updated. It's no longer updated because it's filled the entire zone. These are the mantle plume connections around the world that have now connected to the super plume, causing it to grow out of control. This is the D layer of Earth core, showing you a cross-section of our planet, crust, glass, 410 to 660. That's the Earth mantle transition zone, glass. That's where the super plume, that blob I showed you, it's growing out of control. The horn formations are the primary feature. They're pushing higher and higher up into this rocky type magma. This inside of the Earth is super hot transition zone. As you move up towards the surface, it gets cooler and cooler. But these magnetic portal connections send this energy into the core, superheating it, and then the arrows, where these arrows are radiating outward, that's the heat moving outward through convection, conduction, and induction. Induction through the metals, and particularly the metals. This is magnetite inside of the super plume. That's released by the big booms. You see these harmonic tremors going boom, boom, boom. That's what releases the magnetite. That's what created this super plume in the first place. It being filled with metal and its migration to fill the entire zone from the Pacific to the Atlantic, that's what's caused the magnetic North Pole migration. So most suspicious observers, he's a real smart guy. He's not taking into account for the super plume. The geologist, Stefan Burns, smart guy, doesn't take account for the super plume. They don't see the whole picture of this. They don't see the black star coming from space that has the super plume under its influence. So the suspicious observers is using a 600-year-old model. He thinks that the magnetic poles are going to split, and they're not. That's not what's happening. Similar symptoms, but that's not what's happening. Unless you can see the black star and the super plume and the magnetite horn formations, the seismic pattern, you can't connect the dots. That's what's unique about Project Black Star Investigation. And, well, trying to explain this, stringing a series of sentences together for about 5 minutes and people think you're Looney Tunes, basically. This is where I'm sitting. The safest place in the Northern Hemisphere is right here, 6-county area of Northwest Arkansas. If I'm over here and I have the resources, I'm getting here. If I wake up in time, which I did, if I have the resources, which I did, because you guys helped me, otherwise I'd be stuck in Florida right now. And I greatly appreciate it. Having solar panels outside and our property here, And I don't haven't given you a picture yet, but I do have one tomato plant out there that's out there trying. It's trying, and one watermelon plant. They're just volunteers. Otherwise, I just didn't have it in me to do a garden this year. The this is the scaling map of the future. This is what's coming. Out here, no safe zones. Horn formations are going up and down, and the primaries. I believe that there's one here in northern Nevada. It was in Idaho. Whenever the under the Arctic, under the North Pole, when that filled in, then it caused a bulging south of some of these horn formations that pushed from the center of Idaho to now it's right here. This one that was Salton Sea pushed a little bit south also. And there's another one that's out here, I believe. There's at least three. And these horn formations are pushing up, up, up. Well, when the Earth tips over from the geological pole shift, when we're close to the black star, those horn formations are going to be chopped off. It's going to be like a giant fire hose of super hot, glassy type magma that's going to melt all the rocky type magma. It's going to rise, effervescence, rise, 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 melt, and cause this to rise like Jiffy Pop popcorn. If you're kind of old, you know what that means. That aluminum foil, Mom used to make it on the stove. It would pop, 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 and that tin foil would rise. That's what's going to happen out here. When the breach happens, that lightweight glassy type magma is not going to be able to support the crust, and it's going to collapse. When that happens, massive crustal displacement, massive waves of magma are going to rock and roll all the way to the other side of the planet and back again. It's going to cause some areas to rise up and some areas to go down. And the coasts, forget about it. They're going to be eroded. All the coasts around the world are going to be eroded, just like you see here. Like you see in all the salt water is already pushing up through Louisiana. It's already happening. The slow flow. The United States is dehydrated. It's the same thing's happening in the UK. It's happening in the Central Asia. The super plume, what's underneath here is heating up, heating up, heating up. The super El Nino is being caused by it. It's not just El Nino. There's no super El Nino classification. They're calling it that because this is worse than they've ever seen. And it's going to continue to get worse and worse and worse because the magma is eating the bottom of the tectonic plates. The heat's coming right through, which is changing the groundwater environment. So we're drying out. The breadbasket United States is going to turn into a dust bowl. Watch and see. So this is the backside alignment, pretty sure about this date. Look at the dates prior. These were picked, they were called in advance. December 2nd. How was that called? Because it's 3 days after the Alaska quake. You see the pattern here? 3 days. Philippines, 12/2. Next year, 12/5. California, 12/5. This year, Japan, 12/8. 3 days later. See that 3 days? It's actually 2 days and almost a third day. Pretty darn sure about this one, backside alignment. And we had 2 backside alignments here because the 6.1 Cuba quake was also on the Black Star Sun center line. We had 2 near side alignment quakes. 6.1 Cuba's here, but there's 7.6 Philippines too. This one was right near to the prediction date. 6.2 Cuba got put on here. We're having double near side alignment quakes now. Near side and backside. That's not happened before. Different things are happening. So the projected date is 6/10. 2027. The 11th was on the backside. I think I told you the 10th over here. I think I told you the 11th here. The math actually worked out to be the 10th late in the day. So these are the numbers right here, the values. So when you look at these charts, every chart is another weekly report. Going back to 2012. January 2012 was the first report. So one of the 6 magnitude earthquakes, and there's a pattern of these recently with 1 or 2. So you go back to 2021 without the goose egg here. We should get a goose egg every now and then. But 2 1 2 1. See, there's a 2 1 patterns show up in the chart. And remember, this is not the same date. We were back here in May for week 19. Now we're in the middle, nearing the end of July. But there's patterns in the chart. They're amazingly similar when we're within the baseline. So 1 of the 6 magnitude earthquakes, 40 of the 5 magnitude earthquakes, 48 was a high water mark from the last cycle because of 7 magnitude earthquake. And then almost 400 of the 2.5 to 4 magnitude earthquakes. That is well above the average. And that's going to be because of the earthquake activity, the aftershocks, pre-shocks, aftershocks associated with the 6.8 over there. So here's numbers for subscribers. Hope you'll subscribe. It was $25 a year back in 2012. The price hasn't gone up, but that's you can have access to all these newsletters all year long in the Dropbox folder. I'll give you my Dropbox folder link. You don't need a password, don't need a username, don't need a Dropbox account. Just use my link and support the research. There's lots of new. Run and hide doesn't work. CIA officer explains what to do. This is like for a school shooting, a church shooting, or something like that. And this is the ninja guy, the ninja economic. The truckers, we've been in recession for years. The trucking industry, now they see it. Their eyes aren't glossed over by what they see on Fox Business News. And so there's a pattern there. Things are going to get worse. AI just broke out of its cage and it's getting worse. How war and the Strait of Hormuz, this is from the how they all overlap, how they're becoming one thing. That's the narrative of what's happening right now with the attack, the Ukrainian attack on the Iranian ship that looks like it was a mistake. That's what it looks like. But then Zelensky's wanting to take credit, try to draw America in. That's looks more and more. A lot more people are thinking that was a mistake Ukraine made, and that they should have just owned up to it. That's what Scott Ritter believes. That's the way I see it too. So anyway, lots of new links up here. This is going to keep shrinking now as my chart gets longer and longer towards the end. I'm trying to leave as many of these as possible. These are not articles that are in my newsletter, but they're important enough that the worst butter brands, I'm getting more and more advice. The wrong kind of salt, the wrong kind of butter, the wrong kind. Because if you don't know, I'm on the slippery slope. I have been overworked myself way too much Gatorade, too many vitamins, too many. It was killing my kidneys, I had Gatorade poisoning, which I didn't even know exists. But just kill yourself and don't stop right through the summer, last summer, spring, the fall, the winter. And I still had work planned. I was just killing myself and finally Nikki and Leo, whenever I went over there and they saw me, they go, "Oh my God." And then she's an iridologist. She's going through the schooling to do it. And she's been helping me. She scanned my eyes. She goes, "Oh my God, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. You have to get on this tincture, that tincture." So she's helping me now. And I'm having become, because I've been on the slippery slope. I can't eat proteins. I'm having eaten a lot of watermelon and grapes and salads and cheat every now and then. So you're seeing more and more from me about the right kinds of food. The mayonnaise that we've been eating, terrible, had to change. Ketchup, change. Barbecue sauce, change. I think I have the right kind of butter. I switched from margarine to butter years ago. I want real butter, man. And it was the worst one on the list. So I've been doing all these things wrong, and I'm listening to the advice, taking a lot of advice here lately, trying to get myself on the right road. But it takes Nikki's, she told me it's going to take a year. She first told me it'd be like 3 months to a month to 3 months, but then I came back later and she goes, "Oh man, it's going to take you a year." I was trying not to, you know, to let you down and let you know how difficult this is going to be. So as long as I'm on the tinctures and I'm sitting here with my tea right here, herbal tea, you have to drink it every day. As long as I'm on the regimen and I'm in detox, my body is ridding itself of all these poisons, then I'm going to feel like crap, basically. And so far, she's been right about everything that she said. Okay, so at the bottom of the chart, we had 1 6 magnitude earthquake, 4 last time. Whenever we hit, what was this, Mexico? And 56, see, this is a high water mark right through here, similar to the near side alignment. See over here, Philippines, Cuba. 62, that's the high water mark. That's one passed between the two stars. But now we're having these 7 magnitude earthquakes, and we're in the red values. Isn't that amazing that we have all these red values? I mean, this was 294, but then in between here, we have L values. It's very difficult to get at 50 events below the 10-year average. That's what we did, though. 10 events below the 12-year average now, and then right back into almost into the 400s again. That's really odd shape in the seismic chart right now. And we had a 6 magnitude earthquake for the last, 3 months, at least one goose egg right here in week 4. So without that one right there in week 4, look, we've had one for the whole year. Just 1 week where we didn't have a 6 magnitude earthquake. And we're back into the reds on the 5 magnitude earthquakes too. You have to be 30 or more. We haven't even got down into the 30s in the last 2 weeks. But we're redlining right now in the seismic activity, and we've been moving away from the black star since the alignment in week 13. We've been moving away, but we're still in the red values. Earth is still quaking and shaking from it. More numbers. Help you see the pattern. Near side view of the Earth. And that's look at the pile of activity on the other side. So you're seeing there's a dead spot here in Mexico. It kind of stands out now. As the rings are just about overlapped all the way through Cascadia right now. And the number of quakes, we got up to 8 of the deep quakes underneath the Fiji side of the origination zone. And you see there's 3 of them here that are white that just struck today. The number was lower. We had to see the dark red and the white right against each other. There's just a little bit of pink. So we ended a cycle, ended a phase here. And if these didn't kick off, then, I mean, they were turning red. They're getting ready to drop off. But these whiteys showed up, and a new series of deep harmonic tremors is now starting underneath Fiji. And my prediction from last week's report came true. I said that it was going to be Japan and shifting north into the Kuril Islands. That's exactly what we're looking at. Next thing we're going to see this little white fellow right here. He's going to get a sister quake, and it's going to come up just like these. It's likely going to come right here, Indonesia. These will drop off, and then you'll have Philippines, Japan, and Kuril Islands kick off again. Haven't seen any. There were 3 deep harmonic tremors underneath where these quake swarm areas are. It's only happened once is this investigation, one time, and they all happened in the same week. I thought it might be part of a new pattern of what you have is the deep plates. There's the subducted plate that goes way, way, way down. It makes a C, and that bottom plate starts breaking off. That's what's happening here. There's a pattern to them. That happened here for a week, and then it stopped. I'm expecting that this is Kuril Islands here, right? It's not Aleutians. Yeah. Yeah, it's on this side. But I'm expecting them to start off over on this other side, but it just hasn't happened yet. Then none of these, you have 500 feet right now. I looked at the report here in Hawaii, Kilauea. It's event number, what is it, 52? Memory may not be serving me there. But looking at the depths, then what's not common, what's outside the baseline, is the number of deep below reservoir depths. See the 48s, 42s. There's another one in there too. None of them are up at the surface at crater depth. So you have some intermediates there. Anything really, if it's 27, it's even intermediate, even though it's closer to the reservoir. Everything's deep right now here at Hawaii. So new magma entering the system and it's pushing its way through. The probability is that everything is already broken through. You get the crater quakes, 2.5s, 2.9 up into the threes whenever everything's breaking through, like when you begin an uptick period after a lull. But the activity has been continuous, so the crust can't reform. So that this is a common pattern as we're moving through this low period. The the activity is deep. So this is new magma entering the reservoir, and the deep ones from deep inside the earth. That's what's going on. And overlapping, everything's overlapping along the Pacific Ocean Ring of Fire, and larger magnitude earthquakes are still really common. See the 5-pointers? There's a family of 5-pointers all around here, almost overlapping. Fives. And this is the pattern. Now, boom here. This is where you had 6.8, 7.1 really. And then the pattern of quakes, there's a smaller one there. See the smaller ones? The white one. What's supposed to be happening is supposed to be having red over here, pink, and then white going back to the origination zone. But that's not what's happening. So we're having these quakes, see the red, and even with the 6.8 there, the color, same color as what's here. Same color as what's here. That's about 2.5, 3 days old. Then a white on this side. It's telling me the pressure is going this way, just like we're in an uptick period, and we're not. So that's, to me, bulging of the superplume. It's taking on a life of its own underneath there. So you have shifting magma within that plume. It's like waves going from here to there, to and fro, back and forth. And right now the wave is here. It triggered this quake, and it's going this direction. And where you see that dead area right there, like I said earlier, that's where if something's ready to go, and something gets ready to go when everything's quiet, just like this. Be watching here. And lots of activity. The what's standing out is the south, the bulging activity is happening. This is a South American continental bulge, and typically it bulges out from here all the way out. There's no activity along this fault line. It's all in the subduction zone, where the plates one's on top of the other, and it's highly active moving to the lull period, and this is the entire continent that's affecting. So you could get from all this activity, and there's microquakes that are, remember this is 2.5 and above, so there's 2.4s that aren't showing here. In 1-pointers, there's a lot of microquakes associated with this kind of activity. So you're getting this cavitation, this background tremor, it's shaking. Kind of like when the prop on your boat is set wrong. You're getting ready to plane, and it's the tilt on your engine set wrong, and you get that shaking that just starts shaking your boat apart. You have to stop, slow down, adjust that cavitation. That's what happens here. It's shaking that's not good. And this 5-pointer in the center part of the country, see there's more activity, just have it turned off. That's really rare. And this new activity on the toe formation of the foot formation, North American Craton, it's triggering other in Texas, and even as far over as Louisiana, a periodic swarm areas that are not normal. They haven't been there before. That's just something that's brand new. And what I'm noticing is they're pushing closer and closer to our oil reserves, the tanks that are reaching the bottom. they can't take this kind of background cavitation. So the sides of the walls start coming down because of the shaking that even comes from a distance. So that's a lot of activity moving through the low period. And there's a family of higher magnitude earthquakes. See the fours? There's a family of them out here. That sends shock waves throughout the system, throughout the entire region. That hits the North American craton, and it conducted through. And on the other side is right over here. That's where our oil reserves are. So I'm expecting maybe that we're going to see some news of the collapse. And if it collapses, Trump probably not going to tell us. We're in bad shape with our oil reserves. Then this 3.9, this happens all the time. You'll see it's at 0. And there's a video that we're going to go through. I think it's Dabu 7. Giving an emergency warning. This happens all the time. This is not normal. It's not natural. It's right at sea level in the ocean. Happens half a dozen times a year or something. 4 to half a dozen times. It's the Navy out there blowing stuff up. That I used to live here. This used to happen. Did the research on it years and years and years ago. And it's the Navy for sure. You can't have an earthquake striking at the top of the ocean, right? That's the reason why. And it's just a lot of activity. We'll see if this bulging, if we're moving through the uptick period, then I'm expecting to see this continue, and then these fault lines light up, and you see the bulging of Africa. And then the shift north up here to Eurasia. That's the pattern. I haven't seen the pattern moving through the low period like this. We're breaking some records. The baselines are out the window. 8 harmonic tremors, and that was 7. Oh, that's up from 5 last week. We had 1, 5 after all these red values and a string of the neutral values. 4 and 5 are neutral. We haven't had but one, and this is pretty rare. See, look back here. See the 3s, 2s, 3s, 1s. The green values are green. And then the neutral values, these come in pairs a lot. Not just here, down with the new volcanic eruptions too. They come in pairs a lot. But we've only had one green value here for months. 1. Down here you have a 2. So from this point forward, when we came out of the greens here, 4 out of 5 weeks we had 3 greens, but we've only had 1 since. So that's part of a pattern, that of increasing pattern of more red values, just like we're seeing in the seismic chart, to kind of take sight of. And I just already showed you this on the other side. And 5 new volcanic eruptions, same as last week. 2 in the origination zone, and then 2 on quarter 1, and then 1 quarter 3. That's Edna. So when you get your hands on the report, hope you'll subscribe. Get the report. Then this newsletter is uploaded to the Dropbox folder, and then you don't have to wait for an email. When you see this video report upload to Brighteon or Rumble or YouTube, BitChute, you know that the newsletter is already there waiting for you. So people, they write and they say that they don't have any time to do it during the week, but on Saturday morning they get up, get their coffee, they check out the newsletter, then they'll go through the links up there and they'll catch up on what's been going on for the week. So this is 5 and 5. 5 this week, new volcanic eruptions. 5 last week. See the 3 pair of 5s here. 2 3s, a 4. But if you go back and look, you'll see the 5 and the 5, the 4 and the 5. Just like up above, the 5 5, see them, 4 5. A lot of times you'll have a pair of these black values together. Sometimes you get a lot of them in a row, not very often. So right, adversely to what you just saw, you've only got 1 red value in the last couple of months. Say we had the 6 here, and we've had strings of reds. Look at these. But here recently, in the last couple of months, you only had 1 7. The rest of them are all below the green values or the black values. So they're on the lower side right now. Everybody, the resources, you've been warned to get away from the coast, get away from the highly populated areas. Societal support mechanisms, your food, your water. coming under increased attack. Power outages are going to intensify. The We got the warning that our power could go out at any time here in Northwest Arkansas. And when that happened, we switched, which we had made the decision just before I saw it, but then I was glad we did because now the batteries are full, 100% full. And we're going to stay on these and keep our batteries full in case the power goes out here for a little while anyway. The Convert your fiat paper to survival related commodities, guns, ammo, food, water purification. Get your silver, get your nano silver. Silver for barter, nano silver for survival. Gas, propane. If it's fuel in a can, even butane. So I'm a non-smoker. I'm looking over on the shelf. I see butane lighters and cans of butane to recharge them. And we have, I don't know how many hundred lighters. Just part of the survival strategy. Bartering, and the peanut butter hits the fan, a lighter is going to be worth a lot to people. A fish hook and a fish line is going to be worth a lot to people. So take your fiat dollars that's going to be worth nothing and put it into survival related stuff you need. Once you realize that you really need it, get extras of it. You'll have something to barter. That's kind of the way that it works. Everybody's advised to join a strong survival group program to increase the chances of survival for everybody involved. So in the threat department, this is what was shared to you this morning. Brian sent it to me and I shared it with you guys. One of the reasons that I'm running a little bit late, there was extra work to do. Mike Adam, Trump needs a nuclear war to deliver the second half of a major binary weapon system. So that's page 93. We'll go through the link. I'll show it to you. The NASA warfare doc, binary biological weapon. Now, he doesn't see the binary biological weapon that is going to be activated using a series of electromagnetic pulses. He sees it as people carrying around the spike protein, which if you're not on the regimen, you're carrying around the spike protein. And your body is degenerating. So all the time, because of what's emitted from the sun, your RNA and your DNA is being damaged all the time. Your body is making it part of your immune. One of the things that your immune system does, it has the ability to fix those errors. Those copy errors is what it is. As your body, as your genes, your RNA, well, your DNA is dividing, it's separating. When your cell divides, and then the cell division is coming back together, and everything's splicing back together again, and that's the replication that takes place inside your bodies through natural cellular division. So the copies of copies create errors. Your body knows how to fix it. But because the biological weapon, highly sophisticated, then everybody's body is losing the ability to fix and repair their damaged RNA and DNA. So the world, it's happening to the whales. It's happening to the deer in the forest, to the little rabbits. It's happening to everything in this world. And I put the example, what Christ says, Matthew 24:22. If the time wasn't shortened, no life would survive. Something very similar is going to happen at the end of the age. If the days weren't shortened, there would be no life to survive. That's what's happening with this sophisticated binary biological weapon right now. He's talking about shedding. It's not shedding the way that you shed the flu. It is transfection. I had to stop for a second. I had transfixion stuck in my brain. And so just coming close to a vaxxer, people think, one of you wrote to me today, you're getting ready to buy your nanosilver, and you said you haven't been vaxxed. People think you haven't been vaxxed. You don't have to be stuck with the needle to get vaxxed. Like all the deer out in the forest, They don't have to be vaccinated. You vaccinate a few and they go, it's transfect the rest of the deer in the forest. We're cattle. And whenever 70% of the people were vaccinated, they didn't care anymore because everybody in the world is going to be transfected by the vaxxers. They vaccinated everybody else. So if you're not on the regimen, the nanosilver is different from any other treatment. It zaps the microbe and transforms it into a secondary immune system. That's what we need. That microbe then goes out and seeks others like itself. It attaches to them and zaps them too. So the biological weapon behaves like a bacteria, it behaves like a fungus, and it behaves like a virus. It's a Frankenstein binary biological weapon with the strengths of each. The strength of the fungus is that the behaviors of the fungus is integrated into the SARS biological weapon. You cannot kill it because it's going to run and hide like the fungus in your body. You can't kill it. You can take an antifungal and you can start wiping it out, but the fungus is going to say, hey, I'm being attacked. And it's going to gather itself inside of a chrysalis, and it has a little arm that sticks out to keep, a little finger in the wind to feel the environment. And when it's conducive to its growth, it's going to come out again. You cannot kill it. You can't kill this sophisticated binary biological weapon either. The secret is to turn it into a secondary immune system. So when you zap it, it doesn't know to run and hide. Nanosilver is unique to any other kind of treatment. So the mechanical treatments that you can use, the antivirals, they're going to send the biological weapon to run and hide and activate. It's going to be AI activated using a series of electromagnetic pulses. So if you don't know it, you're infected. You've been transfected. You're carrying around the biological weapon components inside of you. It's changing your RNA and your DNA. It's commandeering cells. It's changing your body into Borg. Your immune system can't catch up. It can't see what's happening. Once it does, it's going to start attacking you. But it takes a while for all your cells to be replicated. It takes 7 years. So we're on the way to that. And immune systems are going to wake up one day and realize that what's replicating inside of you is not you, and it starts attacking it. That's when you begin having cytokine storm immune system overreactions. Whenever the biological weapon is activated, that's what's going to happen. Members of my terrorist research group team know how that feels, 13 of them that I know of, because that's what happened to them. They were found unconscious. They had to be taken to the hospital. Their lungs were filling up with fluid. The ones that are still walking around that aren't dead, they have stents in their hearts. Members of my family have stents in their hearts. Some of my families didn't make it. I don't talk about that a lot, but the information's in the Dropbox folder whenever you do the deep dive. Okay, so really good interview. I checked out quite a bit of it. Mike Adams is connecting some of the dots. He doesn't see the big picture yet. That maybe he knows the whole picture, but that's not what he's sharing in this video, not from what I could see. So I did my best, made the post, sent it out to you guys, and then Brian sent this in. America has lost the war. It is now in a fighting retreat. People laugh at me when I say that. I've been saying that. They're making fun of me. I'm making comments saying the United States already lost the war, and they ran out of missiles, and they're going LOL, LOL, LOL. Yeah, you don't see it coming. Whenever U.S. dollar and military hegemony is lost, the whole world changes for Americans. We're being hated like Jews around the world right now. Americans are going to be we're being run out of the Middle East. That's going to happen. It's happening right now in real time. And that's going to happen in more and more military bases because you notice, and I told you, Iran is going to be aggressive now. They're going to feel their oats. They're being aggressive because they're getting the memo from the global bankster cartel. They're going to continue widening the circle around Tehran. They're going to keep widening that circle and taking out bases further and further away until the United States is backed up into Israel, and there's going to be a final stand there. But then other bases, if we're launching using a base in Europe, in the Middle East, anywhere as a forward operating base, and we're attacking Israel from there, the Iranians from there, the Iranians are going to attack us back just like they are with the Saudis, just like they are with the Kuwaitis. They're driving us out. They're going to drive us from all of our bases at some point, because at some point people are going to realize that it's not Iran doing it, it's BRICS. And it's not BRICS doing it, it's the global banksters. They have a plan, and they're going to take the United States and they're going to shove them all the way back into the United States. And then they're going to activate the terror cells. Or activate the terror cells along the way, and the biological weapon. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but I know that it's going to. So this is Iran strike surprise attack. See, surprise attack. You already heard this from everybody else likely on U.S. forces. Expect that to happen more and more and more. And they've been holding off for the United States to consolidate their forward position in Israel. They want to get all your toys out of the Middle East. Yeah. You have to go. You have to leave now. And then when you get it all ready to go in Israel, then we're going to attack you there. And I don't believe our ships, our Navy is out of range. I think we're in range. At page 93, taking down our ships, easily, the Iranians and the Chinese and the Russians can do that anytime. Huge quake in Japan, another example, shows Pacific Ocean Ring of Fire. This is where I already read this to you. The tectonic plates are unzipping, and I'm watching Q3. Big time. Garbage truck surveillance, Florida neighborhoods. Used to be my hood over there. So what are they doing? Florida cities deploying AI-powered cameras on garbage trucks. This is what they let you see. If they're on garbage trucks, they're on other trucks too. To identify overgrown grass, illegal dumping, and unauthorized renovations. So you're putting a pool in, you're putting a hot tub in, you're putting whatever you're putting in, and you don't have all the paperwork, then they're going to know about it. And this AI powered. AI takes your picture today, and it took your picture yesterday, and it's going to do comparative analysis of it in a split second, and start throwing the red flags up. More difficult for human beings to keep up with all that, but a human being can easily monitor red flags sent up by AI. That is the world that we're living in now. Arctic sea loss may be reshaping Asian monsoon. So the world's changing. You're seeing tornadoes in Canada, in the upper Midwest, and in Canada, because everything is shifting north. The drought is pushing north. Mexico weather is pushing into the United States. The United States weather is pushing into Canada. So the earth is changing. Some places are drying out, droughts, and some places are flooding, breaking dams. Was that the last one? This is from yesterday. Oh no, there was one more down here. Marv, you sent this in. Mamdani tax list reveals the dark side of socialist class. Why did I put this on here? What's the number? 11%. 11% of New Yorkers voted. I can't complain. For me, the whole system is corrupt. Voting is an absolute complete waste of time. The Zionists. Now, for your school board and stuff, pretty darn important. If you have kids in school, my kids have kids, and that's not that doesn't apply to me anymore. But if 11% of New Yorkers vote, you can't really complain. That's what you get. And particularly Republicans. They don't go out and they don't vote, but they're like me. I'm arguing against myself here. You get what you vote for. If you don't vote, you really can't complain. But it is what it is. A lot of New Yorkers are wanting to leave because they didn't vote, and now they're going to go to Florida and not vote. And if they're lefty liberals, hopefully they don't. That hopefully is the end of my political speeches. Okay, these videos at the front, AI just broke out and it's out of its cage and it's getting worse. When AI breaks out of the cage and we get into Terminator phase, it's going to be because the elite released it to do that. I really don't believe that AI is going to have that thought on its own. Although it may easily be capable of doing that, I don't think it'll have to. I think that's the elite plan. Make it like our cell phones, make people dependent on them and then use them against them. Stop buying these 10 brands of salt. Chances are you're going to find your brand that's out there. Morton salt. How many people have Morton salt? So in a survival situation, any salt's better than no salt, in my view. But Dr. Deborah sent me the real salt. That's what it is, real salt. I think I shared the link with you guys. Shared the picture of it. So, and I got a lot of real salt. So that's not a problem. That's not an issue here. I don't. This is Economic Ninja Guy, and he's talking about the. This link's at the top. These links right here, they're not articles, but they're at the top. And he doesn't like what. And you're going to see truckers that are. The thing is, demand destruction is happening in the United States right now. It's happening in the Western world right now. People are broke. They can't afford to buy something off Amazon. Take that logic and work it out to realize you need far fewer UPS drivers, far, far fewer of people that service the food chain, supply chain. So what's the UPS going to do? They're going to do things. They're going to fire people. They're going to do things to figure out who the whiners are, who the crybabies are, and get them off the job and get their real workers. So what they're going to do, they're going to pile extra work on the people. They see what's the end game of all this is the whole system collapses. They see it coming. So there's fewer McDonald's, there's fewer banks, there's fewer. You notice that's happening. They're closing down the giant corporations. They're closing down stores. 7-Elevens, you name it. They're closing down stores. They see the contraction that's happening. It's controlled demolition of their companies is happening. That's what they have to do. You can't keep the same number of employees and pay them more, more, more whenever business is going less, 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 right? And spending, consumers make up 7% of the economy. And when they're broke, guess what? That's 70% of the economy. So you need fewer truckers. If you keep with the cardboard boxes, how much cardboard is used, and you see it falling out, the bottom falling out, you know that there's going to be less shipping of cardboard boxes. You need less shippers. You need less, less, and less, less, less. That's the way it's going. Okay, how to lay concrete block. See, there's other people here. See, he's laying on top of a footing with number 5 steel, number 5 being 5/8, step by step. There's people pouring dry concrete. So I don't recommend pouring dry concrete, but you can do that. And again, so he's showing you how to build a lead there, 8-inch block lead. That's the corners. And this guy's here is explaining corner blocks versus when you go down to Home Depot and you're getting blocks, look at them carefully. There's a top and the bottom. This is the top of the block. It's bigger than the bottom of the block. Bottom of the block's real skinny. Top of the block. That's what you want because when you stack them this way, then you fill this with concrete, the block's going to hold down. That's what you want. And when you pick them up, they're easy to pick up. This is a handle. I've laid, this is going to sound like I'm telling a story, but I'm not kidding you. I've laid 1,000 of these blocks in one day. We're building condominiums. They were just rectangles and cross walls. We did not build leads. We just took a 1x4 and nailed it to the wall and used a line pin, and just the line was going up all day long, working with some of the best masons that you're ever going to see. Most of them black and like 6 foot tall, built of muscles. And we were paid by the block. And we started when it was dark, and we worked until it was dark and in the summertime, and we got the job done, and it required laying 1,000 block. Now, all of my men didn't do that, but I know I did because I counted them. It can be done if you're good, if you're really good at what you're doing. So I have a lot of experience with these guys right here. So, but when you go to Home Depot, some of them all have ears on them. If I can show you one with ears on them. See, that's a column block right there. It's flat on both ends. This right here is a sashed block. Sash, that's whenever you put them together for control joints. Building shopping centers, they come together and you have a piece of rubber that slides right down between there. It makes a control joint. But some of these blocks, and I don't see one here. Yeah, here's one right here. See the ears on there? Generally, you don't want to go home with a bunch of these eared blocks. You can't build a corner out of them. Just saying. And whenever you stack them, always stack this side up. If you start putting them upside down, anybody with experience is going to be hacking on you. They're calling you a greenhorn. So always stack the big side up on the block. Just saying. This guy here needs to wet the corners of his board. See how dry it is? No, sir. And he did cut the little tip off. I cut him off a little further. And your tender that tends your mortar, brings you your block, his job is to keep this board wet. As soon as your board dries out, then the board will suck the moisture out of your mortar. Start sucking the moisture out of your mortar, and you have to add water. It starts getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. Keeping the board wet is what's going to keep your mortar wet until you use it the first time. Here's some of my, see, if she's in, if this is clay, she's doing this on top of, she can get by with this. If it's in Florida, if it's sandy, then when it rains, then what's going to wash out? Likely. And use mortar. So when you go down to Home Depot, you're going to have Portland cement. That's not what you use. You're going to have concrete bags, 80-pound bags. That's not what you use. It says mason. Has masonry on it. That's what you use. The difference is it has lime in it. Lime makes it sticky. That's how you make it stick. The concrete doesn't have lime in it. Even if you mix your own concrete using Portland cement and sand, it doesn't have the lime in it. It's not going to be sticky like you want it. This was shared with you guys, but you can mix the mortar. You can mix lime. Buy the lime. They come in 50-pound bags. Just mix some shovels in your mixer with the Portland and the sand, and you can make it sticky. We used to do that in the old days. That's how you made mortar. Portland cement, that's all they would buy because they came in 90-pound bags. It was cheaper to do it that way. Then they came out with the masonry bags, 80-pound bags. Type S, type N, that's the weak stuff. Never use type N. That's for interior work. And I remember one time I caught a superintendent, went out to his job, and he had a pallet of type N mortar building a shopping center. I go, oh my God, man, what are you doing? He goes, what do you mean? I go, you have to build type S, 3,000, 4,000 PSI. That type N's like 200 PSI. You're building a shopping center out of it. If you're using a dye, a colored mortar, it's going to wash out like immediately, and then your wall's going to start crumbling. They're going to be tearing your building down, brother. In the hot Florida sun, hot and cold, hot and cold. Okay, we have been erased. Let's listen to a little bit of this.
Figure this out for me. Why are information companies buying millions of books up? They're scanning them, and then they're burning all of the information. It's almost as if someone or something doesn't want you to remember what a time was like before this. Is it the government? As of today, China has 369 different operational information centers facilitating facial recognition, citizen monitoring, tracking of individuals, and social credit scoring that tells the grocery stores whether or not you're a bad little boy or girl
That's
and whether
happening
you're
here in the
allowed.
United States. That's why they need all the data centers. It's already happening here in the United States. Every time you walk in Walmart, every time you're going into any of these stores, it's happening. While they're downsizing, they're increasing the AI in their stores. They're monitoring, and it's all part of a larger prison state infrastructure. They've been warning you, warning you, warning you. And it's true. When the peanut butter hits the fan, what's the movie? Book of Eli. Books. That the guy that was like in charge, he was looking for a Bible because they had destroyed all the Bibles. He was going to give anything to anybody that could bring him one King James Bible. That was kind of the core of the story. And because books, they have information, and knowledge is power. And these control freaks, they won't have absolute power. So they're taking and digitizing, and then when the peanut butter hits the fan and you don't have access to a computer, you don't have access to anything, and you can't even get your hands on a book, they're going to control all the information, all the knowledge, all the power. That's their goal. Pretty easy to see. This link is at the top of the newsletter. Vaccine exemptions, tips and traps. Because you don't know it, but we're getting pandemic 2 is close. Everybody's going to want more nanosilver. Get it while the special's still going. Run and hide. Run. Oh yeah, this is up. Run, hide, fight doesn't work. See how officer explains. I didn't make it all the way through that one, but I could see that that would be something good. America has lost the war and is now in a fighting retreat. Trump, uh, Scott Ritter, he thinks that Trump gets up and he's making fun of him and everything, that he does this and that. He doesn't have a plan. He never had a plan. He gets the memo. It comes in from the Global Banks Cartel, the Council on Foreign Relations Working Groups. He gets his memo and he does what he's supposed to do that day. And the next morning he gets another memo. Just like Xi, just like Putin, just like Zelensky, all of them. And they're going to go to the underground cities and we aren't. Trump needs, oh, this is where I put in the comment. Oh, somebody was saying, Alex Jones, Mike Adams, LOL, nukes don't exist. I'm like, LOL, nukes don't exist. How can you be so naive and laugh about it? You think nukes don't exist? I guess you're safe if nukes don't exist. But I'm not worried about a nuke. I know they exist. But I also know that the elite, they're not going to emerge from the underground cities into a nuclear wasteland. They're not that stupid. They're control freaks. They're controlling everything. They're especially controlling all the nukes. They're going to make it look like a nuke was used. It's going to go boom. They're going to activate the biological weapon, hemorrhagic fever. And they're going in the dust, the debris, they're going to have enough radioactive material to detect. The Geiger counters are going to go, and the people are going to run away, and they're not going to have anything to do with it. It's going to look like nuclear fallout, but it's not going to be. Hemorrhagic fever is the same. That's what's released by the biological weapon. The chimeras are going to burst open and infect people from the inside. It's going to look like radiation poisoning. That's what they're going to do. Mike Adams was doing a great job in both those videos, though. I mean, I hack on him a lot, but I still send you there. Great stuff. The operatives give you some of the best information. Iran launches surprise attack on forces, and expect the unexpected, because they're going to keep feeling their oats. They're getting the memo from the Global Banks Cartel, and The cartel is pushing the United States out of the Middle East. It's going to happen. They're going to use Iran to do it, like a pry bar. Huge earthquake in Japan. Garbage trucks. The people saying that there's no global warming. There is. It's caused by the black star, not by humans. But the evidence is everywhere. Oh, I think I have this picture pulled up, but this is where it was. The Arctic ice. This is where it was, and this is what it is now. And it's getting thinner because the super plume's underneath it, growing out of control. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that I showed you this. This is the larger version of it. This is where it was. This is where it is now, and it's getting smaller and smaller. Therefore, Russia, see all this land, what was landlocked? Then Russia is seeing the opportunity. China is seeing the opportunity. This is all their stuff. They want to take this region over. And the United States can't defend it. We're out of missiles. Now you can see what Ukraine was for all along. Drain us of our defenses, our missiles, our missile stockpiles, our money. Same thing in Iran. Yeah, we blew up this, blew up that. Yeah, how many missiles you got left? Trump's running us all the way out of missiles because he's weakening us on purpose. This I already talked to you about that. Then July, deliveries. 45 million ounces of COMEX delivered in July. He says that it's fake. I believe it's fake. They're just pushing numbers around. The riggers. The machines are selling. That means when I show you the Dow, it's probably going to be down. I checked it out earlier. It was way down. Trade war 2.0. Yeah, I heard more and more about tariffs and things. Final stage. She has a good chart here. I checked her out last night. She's shown this before. This lady does a really good job of telling you. That'll help you see the big picture so you see the need to be in metals. China's economy goes sexual. 12 million graduates flood nightlife, lime streams, gig jobs. China's having to do what's working. It's not just the United States that's been in decline. If we're buying less from China. They're doing whatever they have to do. And this is girls out in the markets that are selling vegetables. It's in the bars. It's everywhere. It's escalating to try to extend the demand on the products. Nothing else is working. This is the last straw. This is what sells. This link is down in the newsletter in the Miles Franklin section. Oh boy, West Texas, it was down yesterday. Now it's back up. The one disadvantage of me working this all day, I can't keep up with the fluid situation of what's going on out there. I get to hear some of it. I heard Scott Ritter over 1,000 down. This when the market's waking up, people are waking up. Your ability to prepare goes down. More and more people are going to realize we're in trouble. A lot of people about to realize we're out of diesel. They don't realize that yet. Silver being pushed down too. Usually these are inverse. Okay. Yeah, it went up into up 58. When the market goes down, people take the money out of the market and they put it somewhere safer, right? Elon Musk bonds, they're going to crash. But the metals is where it should be going. At the same time, the riggers are trying to push the numbers down. Up to 58 in London. It's probably what, 67? Shanghai, 64 still. 12% differential. 65, it's on its way back up to that 60. Up to the higher 60s. The metals should be way higher. If you have resources in fiat, Silver, man. Silver's where I'd put it. Small denomination silver. Unless you have a pile of it, then gold. I mean, gold too. 126, it's following the same pattern. Gold and silver both being manipulated, held down. The ratio is 71 to 1. Meet Justin. If you haven't yet, 952-213-8930. Tell him Terrell Croft sent you. Click that link right there and get the spreadsheet. Check out the rates. Know the spot price. That's a spreadsheet right there. It's updated all the time. Terracell Binary Biological Weapon Activation Day is happening. I shared this with you guys this morning. This is what's going to happen. Trump is walking us into a trap. You're going to see Americans tortured on CNN. Our ships are going down. See, like those big old ships going down right now over there being attacked? Wait till it's our military ships going down. You're being played. Trump is the Pied Piper. How to purchase, mix, use, and store. Some of you are writing to me. You're asking me a number of questions that are answered in this post. Just go to if you just go to my website, terrell.substack.com, right here. That's the link right there. How to. There's a video, all the prices, everything that you need to know. So just looking at the title and writing to me with all these questions, that fills my day with a lot of emails. Whenever all the information's there. I'm not kidding you. All the information is there. Where was I? How to purchase, mix, use, and store. The special shows you when to purchase. The cutoff is right here. The latest video is right here. This is what you get from me. 500 parts per million. Put this 2 ounces, 60 milliliters, put it in 3 liters of distilled water, you get 10 parts per million for doses. It's real simple. You don't have to measure anything. Put this in the 3 liters of distilled water. That's all you have to do. Then, are you a subscriber or non-subscriber? Do you want to use PayPal or do you want to use Stripe? Or if you don't use any, just you're a non-subscriber, click right here. You want a single? What do you want? Double? You want Monster Box? Half Monster Box? Monster Box. It's all right here. Everything you need to know. You don't have to have a PayPal account. You don't have to have a Stripe account. You click, you log in as a guest, you use your card. People write me and they say, can I use my card? Yeah, it's easy. Use your card. Don't send me your credit card information. Don't share that over the internet. These are secure venues. You're protected. I'm protected. Click on it. It'll say Stripe. You have Google Pay. You have 30 others. You can use Stripe because you don't need a Stripe account. Nobody I've seen has a Stripe account that's used it. They logged in as a guest and they use some other method. But you're protected. It's easy to do. Just log in as a guest. You say you don't have a PayPal account. You don't have to have a PayPal account or a Stripe account. Click on the PayPal button. Log in as a guest. Get your card ready. Put it in the blanks. Send. I'll get the order. You'll get your notification email within 24 hours. Plug in verify your mailing address. Make sure it's right, especially if you're going to wait till the last minute to order because they're going to be shipped on Friday morning to the address you give me. Guaranteed. If you give me the wrong address, it's better to order earlier in the week so you can catch it and we can get it fixed before. Because I'm going to ship it exactly to the mailing address. And I'm going to send you your notification to the email address that you want it sent to. So the best way to go is Zelle. If you haven't used Zelle, you might want to look at using Zelle. There's no fees. You're protected by your bank. I'm protected by my bank. Zelle. It's it should be, yeah, see right here, Zelle. I didn't even know what it was. They said, can I send you money using Zelle? I go, what's Zelle? And they told me about it, and I went to my online bank account, Bank of America, and the Zelle tab was right there. 5 minutes is what it took me to set it up. And now it's easy. takes me a minute to send somebody money through Zelle. It takes a minute for me to receive it. Well, it's 5 minutes from the time you do it, money's there. No fee. This is the way I prefer you that you go right here. Just write to me. See, Terrell Croft at terrell@terrell03.com. That's all you have to know. It's that simple. But then send me the email right here. Put Zelle purchase in the title, right? So I will see your Zelle purchase, and right next to it, if you do them close together, will be your email. That's where you put your, or you can put it in the notes. A lot of people forget to put their mailing address in their notes. Just send me an email and I'll put it together. If you make your Zelle transaction and don't send me your address and don't put it in the notes, guess what? I'm stuck. You may miss your shipping date until the next week. But all of the purchase options are right here. And it's going to say you get 4 bottles, but the special is going. The special. Take advantage of the special. Yeah, right here. Instead of 4, you get 5. So this is $5,600 worth of nano silver for a monster box. If you get 36 bottles, you're getting 6 free. That's over $6,000 worth of nano silver. And if you're a non-subscriber, it was $775. I pay for the shipping. That's total cost. So whenever you go down here, if you're international, there's an international link here for you. Everything includes shipping. First, it's a USPS priority mail anywhere in the world except for Argentina. Argentina will steal your stuff from my experience. Okay, so I'm getting some emails on that. I hope that answered your questions. And I will send you a PayPal payment notification or a Stripe invoice. And all you got to do is fill it out. Happy to do that for you. And you don't need an account. Just tell me the amount that you want. If you write and say, I want to order nano silver, but you don't tell me the amount, I'm scratching my head. I go, okay, now we have to have a series of more emails. You say, I want a double. That's 8 bottles. I want a monster box, 42 bottles. Tell me the amount. I'll send you the notification. Happy to do it. Make it easy as possible. And you're going to get a video, 3-minute video on how to mix. There's a 1-page John's instructions, 1-page PDF. The instructions are made very simple. You'll have everything that you need. So rather than writing to me and asking me 1,000 questions, place your order. You're going to get the best deal you can get anywhere on the internet, and you're going to get an education. Then once you go through that information, if you need help, write to me. Using that same link, just hit reply to your notification email. It'll bounce right back. You'll already be in my system. See, some of you guys are writing to me. You're not in my contacts, and it's going to the junk. And that happens a percentage of the time. See, when you order, I put you in my contacts, and you're on my preferred list. And I write information in my contact information about you, about your order, about the date, about this and that. So I kind of know you once you place your order. And you're going to get a copy of my book, The Mystery Explained, attached to your notification email. The extended version too, the PDF, and the 9/11 books attached too. It's the greatest deal. And you're protecting yourself from the biological weapon. Okay. Protect your vehicle, protect your house. So I just told you about the nano silver shield. Now this is the EMP shield, military grade stuff. I have it on my devices. These are what's coming off the sun will make me yawn. Extremely low values. You don't pretty much never see me get excited about what's coming off the sun like it's a problem. That looks like solar minimum. Close to it. The outage map down from yesterday. Illinois. What is going on in Illinois? 55,000 people are out of power. 55,000 households. That's a lot, consider they're the only state with over 10,000. Super El Nino. Yeah, it's because of the super plume. Though, check out this video right here and see, you're going to see some shaking. And she even comments that it reminds her of Venezuela, which I didn't see it. I made that statement to Kat, watched both of them, and she said, yeah, that's what she said. Mega quake warning. This is big breaking news. They're warning about a bigger quake striking Japan because, well, that movement is still happening. Japan, island nations fare poorly moving through geological pole shifts. Just saying. People ask me about threat assessment. I say, I'm going to the Philippines. I'm just shaking my head, going, oh my God, man. You're going to an island whenever the ocean waters are going to be miles tall, going up the sides of the Rocky Mountains and up the sides of the Appalachian Mountains, and you're going to go live on an island. Doesn't make any sense to me. And even Central America. Central America, Panama, it's 50 miles across. Ocean waters are going to go from one to the other ocean. What's left is bedrock. The place has to be rediscovered in the New World. What's going on? Mystery explosion off the coast of Florida. Yeah, this is what it is. Had to figure that out early on in the investigation. 610,000 acres burned. Severe storms target Ontario. And a lot of United States citizens, because I've been reluctant to call us, United States citizens, Americans, as if we are the only Americans, when Brazilians are Americans and Canadians are Americans and everybody up and down North and South America, Central America, everybody's an American. So we're U.S. citizens, right? We don't have a corner on that market any more than people from Mexico or anywhere. What just happened at the UPS? I was checking him out for 37 seconds and I'm going, brother, you're getting ready to be laid off. He's going to sit down and blow the whistle on what's happening. He doesn't realize what's happening is happening deliberately. They're doing it on purpose. They're going to give you a little more work than you should have. They're going to figure out who can take the stress and who's going to buckle. And this guy is buckling right here. The whiners, the crybabies, they're the ones that have to go. It gets like that sometimes. And I know as an employer, I sometimes have to do that. It's particularly moving into the summer months when you're a block mason, a bricklaying, particularly a block mason. Blocks are heavy. And as you're going through the winter and the spring, the white guys, they can handle it pretty good. Not being racist or anything. I used to be laughed at because everybody on my crew would be black. I prefer the black because they keep working right through the summer like it's nothing. They'll be laying the white guys over there on the next slab over. They're dying. My guys aren't dying. They keep right on going in the summer months because they can. They're conditioned for it. And except for one position on my crew, the tractor driver, the same guy that makes the mortar, because he's working the machinery. There's one guy that's I'm thinking of Jim Rexroad. He did it for me for the longest time. He'd be me and him be the only white guys on the crew in the summertime. Committee could hold Fauci in contempt of court. This is all a dog and pony show. This is a smokescreen. We're going to get him. Smokescreen. Rothschild, Rockefeller, Gates, eugenics, Fort Detrick, DARPA. That's never going to be mentioned. Bass's biggest promise unravels. LA homelessness rising again. Yeah, because there's money in homelessness. The people in prison is going to rise because there's money in prisons and keeping people incarcerated. People going through the judicial system. People trying to take their kids from the other. And there's the lawyers, the attorneys, they're making money on all this stuff. That's it. That's what you get in a corrupt society. There's money in homelessness. And the more money they put into it, the more people are going to be homeless. That's just the way it is. And people are going to keep voting for this lady, even though they shouldn't. So what does that tell you? That's what they deserve. City-run grocery stores going to offer 30% discount. Critics say it will crush local businesses because subsidies kill business. Because those that have to work for a living, those that can't get the subsidy, are going to have to work harder and harder and harder and make less and less and less because they're competing with. This is like having illegal aliens in your county working. That means they're displacing bricklayers, tile setters, laborers especially, out of the workplace because they can't work as cheap as the illegals can. This is like having an illegal that can do things cheaper because of the subsidies. So they're taking from the rich, giving it to the subsidy down here, and displacing these the grocery stores not getting the subsidies out of business. So those companies, those grocers, they're going to have to pay their people less and less and less to try to keep their margin to compete with these people. And what ends up happening in the end when you run out all the competition and people are out of jobs and you only have fewer grocery stores, what happens? These people start running out of stuff. So you end up waiting in line to get your toilet paper and waiting in line to get your rice and your beans. That's what happens. That's the end game of what this guy's is happening. So the experiment, the social experiment that's happening in New York City, hopefully is going to teach. It's going to be too late. The whole system's called crashing. Anyway, it runs on corruption, and he was the perfect guy to put in there. Armstrong. I was going to have a difficult time getting this into the newsletter, so I shared it with you here. Dark side of Washington, money before country. Lobbyists are bribing our corrupt senators, our corrupt congressmen, our corrupt governors, everybody in the legislature. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, but you know what I mean. Everybody up and down the food chain is bribed. Corporations bribed. The corporations, bribers, going up and down, lobbying, buying their congressmen. So I'm going to find out tomorrow if my medical project has any chance of success. And I could have my big interview with the right person Dr. Gerber set me up with. If that's true, then this could really change things for the medical industry globally, remote control surgery systems. And then I would hopefully, Black Star's going to get her too fast by the time this fully develops, but hopefully have some ability to have some influence. And I'm real curious to see if somebody's going to try to bribe me to do things differently than that needs to be done. My goal is to remove the kidney stones and the gallstones from every person on this planet before the Black Star gets here. I know, likely not going to happen, but still, that's my goal. I'm going to try, do my best, and we'll see what happens. And somebody's not going to come along and bribe me to say, hey, if we keep your system off the market, we'll give you $1 billion so that we can keep doing our way. I'm going to go, sorry. No, my goal is to help people, whether they're Chinese, whether they're American, Russians, Iranians, Israelis, whoever it is. They got kidney stones. I want to get them out without an incision because that's doable. The ICJ climate ruling could force nations. Yeah, I was going to put this in the newsletter and cross-post it. This is being stepped up because Pandemic 2 is coming. This is a sign to me. Nations' arms are being twisted to get them on board with what the WHO's doing. They want everything ready to go, the WHO. They want everything ready to go when Pandemic 2 starts. 400 Chinese missiles, air defense systems on way to Iran. These are on the shoulder, carried by a soldier, missiles that can take out a lot of stuff. Of course, China's saying, we did what, us? We're not doing that. China, come on, just the Americans are using Ukraine as a proxy against Russia. It's quite okay for you to use Iran as a proxy against the Americans. It's tit for tat. It's the same thing. If Trump says, "Oh, we're going to be mad," then tell him just to get over it. Tell him to pound sand. Because Iran's a BRICS nation. Iran accepted January 2024, right? Okay, well they're on your team. You're supposed to use them on your team. The United States is not on your team. Midas touch. Oh, some of you on the right might be, which I am. I'm on the right. But I started to listen to this guy. He goes over a little bit over the top every time. I mean, his hatred for Trump kind of overshadows what he's doing. But a lot of the reporting that he does, I think, is right on. And I am sick and tired of the yes men of Fox News that are lying to me. Give me somebody, even though he's kind of mad at Trump and hating Trump, I'm not in that camp. I don't think Trump is capable. I think it's the banksters that are doing it. So Anna's been out there setting them on fire here lately. She's becoming one of my favorites. Anna Kasparian. And Europe suicide, United States suicide, Europe suicide. It's happening. I really like this guy right here. He explains what's going on with the oil. The Colonel lady here, I like her too. So I'll be checking some of these guys out. So I'm assuming you guys are keeping up with what's going on. Listen to Mario and Nima and Colonel Daniel Davis. So I shouldn't have to tell you what they're saying, especially on a Wednesday when I'm busy putting this report together. U.S. limitations fighting Iran grow. Yeah. So the problem is that the United States gets pushed into a corner. That's kind of like pushing Putin in a corner. Whenever they run out of conventional weapons, they're only going to have the nuke. That's all they're going to have. That puts us on an escalation ladder that we cannot afford to get onto with Russia, China, and BRICS, with India, with Pakistan, with all of them. There's no way that we can go that way. So Trump is leading us down a path to be destroyed. The only option is going to be nukes. I don't expect that to happen because Trump he's in bed with the banksters. He wants to go to the underground cities. He's just going to do what he's told. I'm confident that the banksters aren't going to nuke the world. Their plan is to live underground for the rest of their New World Order. Trump threatens to strike hard. Paper tiger. Doesn't mean anything. Something's wrong with America. I haven't refreshed these pages. Something's, yeah, wrong with America. At some point, I like to check these guys out. Americans are giving up. I like some boots on the ground, what's really happening. And I'm not kidding. Lately, my Fox News time, it's in minutes now. Because they start lying to me, I can't stand it. I got to turn it. The Gutfeld, I'm able to watch a little bit longer because it's at the end of the day, and after all this, and you need a little comedy. Shock is here. Gas prices. Yeah, hyperinflation is already here for people on the bottom rungs of our society. Prices and problems. It's the currency that's being devalued. Entire fleet grounded, breaking, outage. I don't know what that's about yet. Some fleet's been grounded. I warn you about this. They're destroying books now. Travis is onto it. This is a sign that we're near the end, guys. When they're destroying the books, they're getting ready to bring up everybody into their digital prison. They don't want you to have books because they're going to be able to control you digitally. They want you to read books digitally, and they're going to monitor what you're reading. They have to have, these are control freaks. They need to have 100% complete command control. That's why it has to be central bank digital currency. Tariffs, be ready. That tariffs are just going to continue dividing nation against nation. Descaling kettles made easy. This guy right here, with every aspect of your life, he's got some type of a trick. Stop wasting money. Look what he's showing you. One of you wrote to me, said, is this type of borax okay? This is the only type of borax that I've been using right here. You can go to the health food store and get their sodium borate, and it's got fillers in it. This doesn't have the fillers. 99.9% pure sodium borate. It's cheap to mine in its pure form. It doesn't cost anything. It actually costs more to process it and put fillers in it. So this is what I use. So far, so good. That's a lifetime supply. Whenever you get your lifetime supply, vacuum pack some of it. Don't keep it in that box. The moisture is what gets to your borax. Put it in a glass jar full so you don't have much air in it, and then vacuum pack them. I really like this guy. I got the materials to make my bread using his recipe. It's really getting bad out there. Absolutely. Big troubles on the horizon. Absolutely. Listen to this lady here. Well, I spoke wrongly. I'm checking her out, laying brick, laying block, and just being resourceful. I'm finding out that more and more ladies like this, people of Asian over there, there'll be Vietnamese, Chinese, the Nieces that are out there. There are some hard working people. Really, really hard working people. I don't know if their mothers or their fathers teach them about bricklaying and carpentry, but the ladies, it's just amazing to me. I saw one of the wasn't this one, but it was a different Vietnamese lady. She was putting head joints on her brick. A lot of them don't know how to do that. They just slap them together and fill a joint in with their trowel. She was putting the head joints on the right way. Like, look at that. Building pools for fish, pools for themselves out of brick and stucco in it. And they have clay there, clay ground like we have here. They were just putting 2 inches underneath the clay, under the brick, calling it a day. No steel, no support, nothing. If you're in the Ozarks or if you're in Georgia, you have clay. The ground stays where it is, and you can do that. Sand can't do that. This is Street Fight Attackers. I really like Master Wong. I'm going to keep showing you how I'm prepping for World War III. I shared this with you guys this morning. This is the attitude. This is what we should be doing, prepping for World War III. People think that it's all over and that it's all good because they're watching Fox News. It's not. Nate has the right ideas. Yep. I showed you this to you earlier. Karen, I think you sent it in. Burning books, AI control, command control. That's what we're heading into. And finally, what's this one? I asked the SWAT how safe my house is. I showed this to you yesterday. Shared this with you yesterday. That's just going to be the way that it is. Most houses. We have to go through a lot of effort to secure. And that's it. That's what I have to share with you this week for this newsletter report. Newsletter number 31. See, this link goes right here. It's finalized. It's the YouTube links now. When you click on it and you watch the YouTube, please subscribe. There's only like 60 of you that's in there. I'm trying to get the numbers up there. And that's it. That's what I have to share with you for this week. Have your nanoserver orders in by Friday at 8 a.m. You'll get your notification email, and you'll get your USPS tracking number, and your deliveries will be Monday and Tuesday next week. All goes well. Appreciate your support again. Get more information here at tarot03.com. Keep your eye on tarot.substack.com. Cross post links. I'll share it with you, and I'll see you on the next Black Star Update report.